Welcome back, everybody, to Aces53 with Ed Parcaut and myself. So, with today being a Tuesday, it's just Ed and I, and we won't be here Thursday. Why? 4th of July. Yes, 4th of July is on Friday. However, we know most people are going to head out the 2nd, the 3rd. They're going to be grilling. They're going to be doing all kinds of stuff out on boats. So, we figured we'd take the rest of the week off after this. But how you doing today, Ed?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm still, a little bit behind. I think I told you. Over the weekend, I hopped last minute. Adam Lyons had an event, an AI summit out in Bastrop, which is outside Austin. So I had kiddo till Friday, dropped her off at her mom's house, went to a lunch, and then hightailed it to Austin. So it's a
I assume you drove there, right?
Yeah. Yep. Drove 3.5-hour drive. So made phone calls, caught up with people, not too bad. But man, you and I talked about AI a lot, and just what he showed me in 2 days. I'm like, I'll show you offline because I don't want people to steal it. But yeah,
that good, huh?
It was. You've met Adam before, right?
A long time ago.
Yeah. He's gone all in on AI stuff. Before he had a few different businesses, and he still has a bunch of different entities. But the things that he's doing, like he was just in the room, and in the room there was like 18 people, and there were 26 people on Zoom, or maybe it's vice versa, but around 40 people as a part of this. And he was just asking people like, what's your business and what's your challenge? And then he just went in and he would write these prompts that would spit out everything. Like one example was, hey, I want to be a fitness coach in this area. And we always know, like, don't go look in fitness sites for fitness people because they're already on that journey. So then he asked ChatGPT to find in the local area we were in, what are some groups if you want to find people over 50 who want to join up to have a coach that need to be more active in their lifestyle. And it came up with things that you wouldn't think of, like the French club where people go to learn French. And then it was like, oh, and there's a local wine tasting meetup that these people need to be more active. So you can talk about, hey, to offset the wine you're drinking. But it was really creative to see how just in a few prompts, all the information that was out there. And one really unique one that he did was, there's a guy outside of Chicago who he helps people with bad credit scores, right? Sometimes we have bad credit and they're looking to rebuild their credit, get into vehicles that are in between 15 and 25,000. So very specific target audience, and it gave him entire YouTube sequences, Instagram. It told him what percentage of people would find him, how that would lead to future business based on statistics. Just most people use ChatGPT as Google 2.0. And
most people just go fix my email.
Exactly. Or, hey, give me this information and that's it. And to see how in 4 to 5 prompts, you could design an entire business plan and get it out there within a week was mind blowing.
Yeah. That sounds like it. I mean, just like the thing you sent me, Dan Martell.
Yeah. Dan Martell.
Yeah. So I just took a picture of it, dropped it into ChatGPT, told it to copy it and then change it. And the biggest thing is getting it, any of those prompts, there's so many of them.
Yes.
But here's the bottom line. It's like going to mastermind. They tell you everything you should do.
Mm-hmm.
People just still don't do it.
That is what was unique. So you beat me to the punch of something I was going to bring up later. That was, I'm going to show you how to do it. And then we're going to take 15-minute breaks that I want you to go and do it and ask questions. So it wasn't just information. It was get your hands dirty, start putting it out there. And then he would walk around and help people fix their prompts and figure out what else to be done. And I'm starting to see more and more of that is in these masterminds. And I think you said the same thing when you went to Vegas, was it's no longer just information. It's also implementation.
You have to. I mean, we used to be, we'd get one thing and bring it back and you have to implement it and do that kind of stuff. Because if you don't, you've just wasted your time. But we go do all this stuff and then we come back and we get busy with business again instead of doing what we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And even that prompt you sent me the other day, I made some changes to it and it was like, do the webinars, which I'm doing, and do this, the stuff that I'm doing. But it was like, and then a couple other things. I was like, oh, I'm not going to say it because people aren't doing it. Mm-hmm. And, add those couple things. And it was like, okay, it's just another way of what we're not doing. We're not thinking. It's like you're hiring somebody for $100,000 to tell you how to build your business and you have it for $20 a month.
Yes. But even more so, it's updated. Like when you hire someone, you're basing their knowledge on what they've experienced, right? But when you have this, you're able to extract from thousands of minds, and you can specify. Like, one of the things that he would start most prompts off with are, this is the industry I'm in. Bring me in the top 3 experts who are experts at this one area. So you can attack any part of the business that you wanted that, you're deficient in or you need to improve upon. And it was, I'll show you when we're offline what we did for mine. And it was just like crazy.
Well, it's even like the stuff I need to finish for my website. It's, and then the problem is, once you get it done, don't look at it again.
Yeah.
You're going to start all over. And then,
yep.
and that's what, I'm like doing it. I'm like, and then they're doing it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to check it just messed up my whole homepage. Now I got to redo that, and it's like, you could constantly. So here's what you should do. Just like, we were talking with Cossum last week.
Yeah.
Figure out your business, build it the way you need to build it, and then get somebody else to run it.
Yes. Well, we mentioned Dan Martell. That's his whole book, Buy Back Your Time, is get it to where you can have someone else do it. So you're getting your time back.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I got so many things going on, but I don't have people running those things, and I need to get more of those people running those things. My plan was to, get through where I am and get through this part. And then that's the next step. They're like steps. You have to Rome wasn't built overnight or tore down. So you have to take the time. A lot of the stuff people do, builds things, write stuff, videos, everything they do could take, and then all of a sudden they take off 8 years later and they're like, wow, this guy's he's all over the place.
Yeah. Alex Hormozy, right?
Yeah.
Perfect example. You can sit here and go down the list. Nobody knew who all these people were when they started putting crap out there. And we talked about this a long time ago, is there's that illusion of perfectionism. And that's why a lot of people, if they're good, will say, go watch my early videos and see how bad I sucked. So like Gary Vee will say that. Russell Brunson will say that.
I'll say it. Watch my old.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally,
I can't even watch my old stuff. I can't even listen to my old radio stuff.
Yeah.
How bad it is.
I pulled up one. So. I'm like,
well, we had somebody on. All they were saying was right.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that we were told, don't say right afterwards. You're trying to get everybody to agree with you. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're just supposed to be talking and not throwing that out there. And I was like, man, I apologize to you, giving you a hard time about so, because that person said right way more than you said so. And you said so a lot.
It's funny though, we don't realize that we're doing it. It's only in watching things like we've talked about. Since we're talking about AI, I use Opus Clips every day. I get up and I go, okay, let me break apart that talk I gave and whatever, and cut it into a 1 to 3 minute segment. And when you see the transcription, you're like, oh. But the cool thing is, if I wanted to, I could go through all those transcripts and say, get rid of the word so. And unless somebody's really listening, that they'll hear the little clips where it's gone, I could get rid of those. So it's cheat. I just said so. It's cheating to a degree, because with AI, you can fix it.
It's not cheating.
It feels like cheating.
It's not cheating.
Well, here's what
cheating is when you're trying to advance yourself by stealing other people's stuff.
Well, I'm saying you're not fixing the behavior. You're just deleting it out of the videos. So you need to do both. And that is, if you catch it in AI, go ahead and delete it and make a mental progress to fix it going forward. That's why I say it's cheating if you don't change. It's kind of like right now, people on Manjaro, all the weight loss drugs. Look, I did it. I'm not talking shit about it. What I'm saying is, just go, okay, I'm going to take this to help me get to a certain point, but you still have to modify your behavior, or else it's not going to work long term. So it's the same thing. Use AI to cut out whatever words you don't want. But then you need to focus on getting rid of so, in my case, going forward. So it's cheating to a degree if you don't modify behavior.
Well, why not just don't take it out so that you will modify your behavior?
Oh, I know. I'm saying if you wanted to, for your clips, get rid of it, AI gives you that ability. Just like this morning, I did yesterday at Adam's event. They did headshots, and I forgot I had glasses on. So I went like this, just like you can see the reflection in my eyes. They were there. And so somebody went and they're like, the pictures drive me nuts. And they got rid of it. So I went into AI and I said, okay, go take the glare out of the picture, fix it like that. I'm just like, and then I said, now it's good looking headshot. So I'm like, go ahead and make that high resolution. But what's funny is when I said that, it changed it. It doesn't even look like me. So if you go look at Monday's LinkedIn post, I posted all three, like the one with the glare, the one without the glare, and whoever the hell it thought I was afterwards. It was completely funny. I'll have to, let me see if I can find it.
No, because I did that for me for something, and I was like, who the heck is that? That is not me. Yeah.
So I'm gonna show it here. Let me see if I go
Like I did is I took a picture of my dog George, who's out by the pool, and I put my hat on him, and it's one of those like, sombrero kind of hats for out by the pool kind of thing. And I took a picture of him, and then I took it and had it turned into a t-shirt called The Summer of George.
Yes.
And stuff like that, and it looked just like him. But then I had it make more pictures. Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that one. Okay. So then I said, hey, I like that picture. Let's go ahead and make it high resolution. And this is what it kicked out.
That looks like a mix of like you're a mix race.
Yeah. I'm like, who is it trying to turn me into? I don't know. But I thought it was funny. I'm like, okay, yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, there'll be more women go, wow, look at that guy.
Yeah. And then it'd be catfishing. It'd be catfishing. Who is that guy? I don't know. It's not the guy who showed up.
As you can see, I didn't adjust my camera to get the corner of my bookshelves out.
Why's that?
I just noticed when we went large.
Okay.
Because we're short. We're close today, so it didn't matter. Well, I was also, somewhat normally here early, and I was right on time.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. I'm trying to think what else. It was just interesting to see how far, like I consider you and I pretty advanced, you more advanced than me in ChatGPT. And then you just go to something where you see how people are using it so simply and yet in such an advanced level. And what I mean by that is they're putting more thought into it than a simple prompt. Like they're going out and finding documents and creating a GPT and uploading knowledge documents. I've never done that. I've just gone in and typed a prompt, or more importantly, I talked to it. That's a great first starting place, but it's amazing because you can go out and get knowledge from different sources, put it into a note document, a text document, whatever, and then say, I want this to be the knowledge base that you use for this information. And then what it can do after the fact is just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Well, it's like I changed, I'm no longer on my crutch. I haven't been on for a while. And I noticed I gained a little bit. So but I would change my work. I mean, I've been lifting heavily, which has been nice to be. And it's like, and I'm not trying to brag, but muscle has memory. So I've been like, boom, boom, jumping up on the weight like a lot. And I got to keep it in certain ranges because I have bad shoulders. I have bad knees. There's certain things I can't do. So I'm limited in certain ranges. I have certain things I can do. And I was like, okay, well, let's see so I dropped it in ChatGPT, my workout, what else I'm doing. Cause I'm also riding the Peloton 3 times a week for an hour. Nice. And I'm like, okay, what does my calorie count look like? What should it be? And all the breakdown, what I'm doing. This is what my plan is. And it wrote a whole thing for me. And it even gave me a meal planning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and I'm like going, okay, I'm not eating enough. That's my problem.
Man, I've been adding
stuck on that
protein shakes and the legendary foods. I take those legendary pastries, and even if I'm not hungry, I'm like, crap, it's been 3 hours, eat one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to eat so much protein and so much this, and I was redoing it, and it's even with what I've been doing, I haven't been eating enough. So guess what happens when you don't eat enough? Yes, when you're on nothing, yes, you lose muscle and weight. But when you're lifting and doing other things, your body stores that shit because it thinks it needs it.
Yeah, it thinks it's going into scarcity mode for food. It's like, oh, better hold on to it because our bodies are wired to where we were hunter-gatherers. That what if there was no food source for a certain period of time? I didn't think about it. We're just not talking about it. I'll have to get Dr. Adam on to also talk about peptides and stuff because, we talk about all these different things, but like mental, physical, all that kind of stuff, man, there's so much information out there right now about peptides for different uses and everything. I had a conversation with him today. I sat on one of his presentations and I was helping him tweak it this morning. And it's so amazing what's out there right now in terms of education, supplementation, things that before we thought, oh, we'll go to the doctor, get your local trainer at whatever gym. And now we have access to so many different people and opinions and facts and data, and you can finally customize what works for you. And that was just not available that long ago, unless you picked up like the 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. You had to go pick up a book on it, not kind of crowdsource information, find out what works for you.
And also, like with my thing, I even told it what supplements should I be taking. And guess what? It gave me a whole list.
Have you uploaded your blood work yet?
No.
That's another one. I was just curious. I'm like, I got back from the doctor, and so I go and get my blood work done twice a year, and check on testosterone levels and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to hear what the doctor said, and I thought, let me upload it also. And I uploaded it, and it agreed like 95% with what the doctor said. I'm like, okay, cool. So while I wouldn't say skip going to the doctor and just go to Quest, get your own blood work, and use ChatGPT, it's not bad to have AI verify what your doctor told you, and then even let you get more educated to ask additional questions. Well, is there a reason you didn't recommend this, or is there a reason? So we used to have just blind faith, and now we have access to knowledge to ask better questions, right? When we're talking to anybody about anything. It's just an amazing day and age we live in.
Yeah, I mean, it told me I need to take, which my wife's been telling me, magnesium.
Yep, take it at night.
Yeah, well, she takes it all the time.
Does she? I got on years ago 10X Health, the Grant Cardone, Gary Brecka, and so there's magnesium at night along with a multivitamin. So the multivitamin comes in 3 pills. You take 2 in the morning and take 1 at night with the magnesium, and it helps me sleep better. It does so many different things, but yeah, magnesium's another one. What else did it tell you? By the way, we're not doctors. We're just talking.
I'll tell you afterwards. Nobody else needs to know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Too.
I hate that we have to say this all the time, but we're not doctors. We're not attorneys. We're not, whatever else. So we're not AI
users.
Yeah. We're not AI generated. I'm an AI user. But anyway, it was fascinating to be in rooms, and like I said, people are using AI differently depending on what theirs was. So it was a personal trainer, how he's using it to get new clients. It was that car dealership I mentioned outside of Chicago. It was a app game designer that was in the room. Who else did they have? People who sell braided in, not weave. Maybe it was weave in braids. Sorry, I said it backwards. There's just all these industries you have no idea about that are out there, and the way that they're using it, like it went out and said, here's the problems I'm having. Oh, here's one that was really cool, and we'll bring Adam on one day. I always told ChatGPT, go out and look at a website and then tell me the information. He actually went to a website and did Control A and saw all the things that are on there visually and put that into it and create it. And it's like, oh yeah, you need to go change this, and this. I've never seen anybody do it that way. I've always just given out the URL and said, go examine this website. But he did a Control A, Control C, and pasted it into ChatGPT, and it looked at it differently than if you typed in the URL. Just because it was looking at the layout of it, but in almost like a transcript form versus studying the website all by itself.
Well, that has the header and all the other information in it.
Yes. That's just not anything I've ever seen anybody do. So part of the fascination was sitting up close to the front, which me, normally I'm sitting in the back so I can take notes, but I want to see what he was typing into everything. And then watching what he was doing was just such fascination of, again, and I consider myself above average AI user. I consider you higher than me. And I still felt like kindergarten compared to what he was running in. It just shows you what's possible. It's just absolutely amazing.
Well, again, you have to look at what are you utilizing what were you trying to do on the website? When we were trying to look, right? Not necessarily all the SEO, all the other stuff that you want to have on there. But
right.
Yeah. So I would do both.
Mm-hmm.
I would have it. But again, if your website's not out there yet, like mine that's being recreated, and here's the new link, but it's not anywhere yet. You still need that header information in there. You need to have all that stuff in there.
Right.
Most people don't understand that Control A or whatever, where you see all the extra stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of behind the scenes.
What the hell would I do? Hit the X quick.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's like if I've accidentally hit Control. Let me see if I go to a web page. I want to say it's like Control D. No, Control B. No, that's not what I want. Anyway, there's disregard feedback. Yeah, it was a button I hit. But anyway, it gave up all the code, and I was like, oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. But it's so funny because as end users, like we've talked about this before, AI has been around since the 80s, but it's only within the last 2 years that people have gotten an easy to use interface that made it where everyone can use it. And that's why so many different people are utilizing AI. But we talked again, there is this whole belief that up to 800 million jobs will be gone by 2030 with AI taking over automation and courses. And Adam brought up a good point, and that is what we're hearing about people getting laid off, but the statistics are run on who applies for unemployment. So we're seeing kind of a half of the whole in problems, because when people are reporting like unemployment rates are up, they're not talking about how many people lost their job that got a package who aren't applying for unemployment or who were close enough for retirement or whatever. And I don't know if anybody's ever been on unemployment. I didn't know until I got fired in 2022. I thought, oh, I make X amount of money, it's going to be a percentage of that. Nope. It was $500 a week. And I always thought, heard these stories that, you hear stories and think they're true. And then when you get to reality, I always heard about people who were just living off unemployment. I don't know how they're doing it, because it's not a lot of money, at the end of the day.
Well, that's how that is. It's not a lot of money.
Right. But I didn't know it till I went through it, because I always heard these stories about people living off unemployment for all this time. And I thought, oh, well,
but they live with their family. They're in the basement.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't realize until then that it's not a percentage of what you made, which is weird to me. I feel like it should be, if I was to design it, I think you should have to give a portion of your salary taken out and just put in unemployment. And if you ever need it, you draw from it. And if not, it becomes your retirement. But that's not what unemployment was.
And that's not how retirement works.
Yeah. So anyway, it was interesting facts. But I think we talked about it the other week ago. I saw an article that said, in addition to all these people losing jobs, AI has replaced entry-level jobs at corporations. So when kids are graduating high school, college, trying to get in to find that foot in the door job, guess what? It doesn't exist anymore. So, and that's not being reported, because they're just saying, hey, we no longer need that position. So if somebody promotes up, they just don't backfill it. So there's a lot of misinformation on how many people are really truly being affected by AI out there. So
yeah, there's a lot of wrong information out there, because there was 5 million people left the workforce and it's never gone back.
Right.
And the question is, what are they doing? And that's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Not gals, guys.
Yeah. It's both. People have lost the illusion of what they were raised with. Like, I'm 50. When I was raised, it was go to school, get a job at a big company with a big name, because that's where you're safe. And that's not the way it is anymore. Microsoft laid off 6,000 people like 3 weeks ago. It's the bigger companies that were well staffed. They're now having to be nimble to compete with the smaller people that are taking their business. So their choices are acquisition, or trim the fat. Well, what happens even with an acquisition? Well, then there's redundancy of the company that they bought. So then people end up unemployed one way or the other.
I really hate when people put a group of texts together to send shit out, and then you're part of this group, and it's like, I don't want to be part of this group.
Yeah. I silence all those. I've got friends and family that have them, and I have to go back and search for them later, because I get it. You want to have 10 people on there, but that's 10 people responding. So I'm just like, silence.
How do you do that? I have to delete and block this conversation.
Oh, no. So when you're in one, let me find a group chat I'm in. Okay. So like there's one that I'm in here.
Hide alerts.
Yeah. I do hide alerts.
Yeah. Well, I just want to be out. Yeah. But you hide it. It still pops up there.
It pops up, but it doesn't ding. It doesn't do anything. It's just, you have to want to do it.
Just let's.
Yeah. Like, as a matter of fact, I got one.
Like, okay, I don't need, first of all, I'm a round eye guy. I hate square eye Jeeps. I don't care.
Yeah.
They're not my thing. Give me an old CJ or give me a new one. Do not give me that one from the 90s.
Oh, so this one, I just got one. I just had to, you can exit out of it also, but yeah.
There's one where you can like remove yourself out of the group. This one is not letting me, and it could be just because it's on my actual computer.
Yeah, no, the computer has less than your phone does. That's less capabilities, but anyway. So it just, we'll see if we can get Adam on one day, but it just, God, there's so much information that, like I said, I thought I knew about AI above average, and now I feel like I'm back in first grade versus, I thought I was in junior high.
Well, the question really is, have you needed it? Did you need what he showed you? Did it help? I mean, did it help?
Oh, it absolutely helped.
How did he think of it? Again, he probably sat there and thought about it, and we haven't spent the time to go all in on AI and build out every prompt. I have a ton of prompts for many different things that I've done that most people wouldn't even know that are there, that I use for my industry. And when I tell someone, they're like, wow, you have those? You have that? I got to tell so-and-so. And it's like, I don't want to tell people anymore that I do those. That's my secret.
That's exactly. People have to, the downside of what they were talking about is, unless you have a server or a computer that's offline, everything else, the challenge is whatever you create becomes public knowledge to a degree. Now, you can make it that you can share something with somebody that they can't take it and make it part of their own. And you've done that with one, right? Where
you put a disclaimer, you put a thing inside of it to where it can't do that.
Yeah. So there's a way to quasi protect how you did it, but not the information that's in it. That's why people have offline servers, things are done. But really what Adam was talking about is like, unless you have a laptop that does not connect to the internet, except for when you connect to put this in there and then you take it back offline. But then the problem that you're up against is you're not pulling live data. And there's with the big thing with Grok right now is people are loving Grok because Grok is pulling from people's Twitter feeds that are live, and it's easier to pull that. And that's why people think long-term Elon's version, Grok, will be the leading one, except for first to market was ChatGPT, aka OpenAI. And there's more users who adopted to it. So that's what they was talking about. It's not always who's the best, but sometimes it's who is the first to market and the first for adoption that is really the winner in the long run. But we'll wait and see.
Well, I mean, everybody else came along because of ChatGPT.
Correct.
I'm just because nobody, OpenAI actually.
Yeah, OpenAI.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for them putting it out there, we wouldn't even have known about it.
Right.
It's been like, people don't realize it's been around since the 50s. This is just the first time it's forward facing for us to play with it.
Yeah.
And grow it. They needed us, millions of us, to tell it what to do so it could steal the stuff. Just like Qasim said, what's going to happen though when we stop putting information in, or maybe somewhere else?
Right. That's good.
Because if the AI is doing all this work and putting all the information out there, but it's pulling from all the stuff we did in the past,
right?
What happens when we stop doing that stuff in the future?
That is a good question. Why did that ding? I don't know why. That's weird.
Because it says it says I want to get through.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom where it says Brian's things are notifications off or whatever, then it says
notify anyway.
Yes. There you go.
That's right. Well, speaking of which, I gotta get running.
Don't run, just walk.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
You're old. You gotta deal with those issues.
I do.
All right. Yeah, I'll take us out. I appreciate you being here, Brian. Again, I won't be here next week, but Brian will probably be here next week. We're not here on Thursday this week because of the holiday. I'm not here next week because of the holiday, because I'm still on holiday. But I'll be back the following week after that. So again, Brian, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for having us, and make it a great day. We'll talk to you. Brian will talk to you on Thursday.